Setting up your e-commerce flows with Omnisend. So there are lots of e-commerce flows you can set up, of course, but these are the 9 most important e-commerce flows you should set up as an e-commerce business owner. So right now I'm going to show you number 3, how to create the product browse abandonment campaign inside Omnisend. So here you can see a quick explanation of the product browse abandonment campaign. So for example, you send a newsletter to one of your subscribers, and in that newsletter you have a website link to your store. Your subscriber clicks on that link, they visit your store, they view a product page, so contact views product page. So that will be the trigger, as they call it, for the automation, for the workflow. So the workflow triggers when someone visits the product page. Then you wait for example, 1 hour. If they didn't make a purchase within that 1 hour, you send them an email trying to convince them to go back to your store and still purchase that product, right? That's the entire idea of it. And then we have optional, we have more emails we can send later on after that first email. And for a better understanding of these abandonment campaigns, you can use tools like mailcharts.com or mail.com or reallygoodemails.com. I'll make sure to add links to these websites down below in the description. But you can use these websites to get some inspiration for your emails. So for example, here you can see a browse abandonment campaign. So the subject line of this email was 20% off, shop shoes you viewed. So this also is a product abandonment campaign. So the email is, we've upgraded your offer to 20% off, shop boots and shoes you viewed while they last, get 20% off. So here you can see another example. Did something catch your eye? Recently viewed items. So here you can see the product the subscriber recently viewed. And then as you can see in this newsletter, they used more relevant products to the one they viewed inside the newsletter. So as you can see, there are lots of different examples you can get inspiration from. So definitely make sure to check out these websites. Anyway, let's have a look at how to do this, how to set it up inside Omnisend. So if you're in your dashboard, you're going to go to automations. And first things first, you should have an integration with your e-commerce platform, of course. So if you haven't created that integration yet with either Shopify or WooCommerce or whatever e-commerce platform you have, you should make sure to set it up beforehand. So I'm going to click on create a workflow. And then if you search on browse, you can see that Omnisend has pre-built templates for also the product abandonment campaign. So in this case, I'm going to use this one. So the product abandonment pre-built workflow. So I'm going to click on customize workflow. So first things first, you should make sure to give your workflow a proper name. So in this case, it's already pretty good, but just make sure you name your workflow a recognizable name. So in this case, I'm going to call it the product browse abandonment campaign. I'm going to click on update. So if we click on this first thing over here, if we click on it, you can see this is the trigger for this workflow. In other words, when someone views a product page on our store, this specific automation will start for that specific contact. So as you can see in this pre-built template, Omnisend added this little thing over here, status product is in stock, which is pretty smart because you don't want to send reminder emails to purchase a specific product if that product isn't in stock, right? So this is a pretty good one. And then over here we have some filters, and then Omnisend added one exit condition over here. So the condition is placed order. So if someone places an order, we don't want to send them a reminder for this specific product because they already purchased something in our store, correct? Because the entire goal of this workflow is to make sure our subscribers purchase something from our store. If they already done that, we want to remove them from this workflow so we don't send them emails, reminder emails to purchase that product if they already did it. So as you can see, this is the only exit condition they added. My advice now is to add one more exit condition, and that is the added product to cart, because my suggestion is to create a different workflow for the abandonment cart. As you can see over here, number 4 is the abandonment cart recovery. So we have the product browse abandonment campaign, and we also have the cart recovery abandonment campaign. So that is a different workflow we want to use instead of just using the same one for product/cart. If we have separate workflows, we can see how they perform. We can tweak their emails separately, so we have far more control over those flows instead of just using one flow for different purposes. So we want to add a condition number 2, added product to cart. So if someone adds a product to cart, we also want to remove them from this workflow because we have a different workflow set up for that. So then we have the frequency, skip contacts who already been in this workflow in the last 1 day. They have set it up like 1 day. I think I would set it up in the last 14 days. So I don't want to send people the same emails if they visit my store, if they visit product pages of my store without purchasing. So I would say 14 days is good. I'm going to click on save. And then over here, they added a delay. So if you want to add a delay, you can just click on the delay over here and you can drag it onto the workflow, as you can see over here. I'm going to remove this one right now. Yes, delete. So they added a delay of 2 hours, as you can see, which is fine. You can also use 1 hour. And then over here, they have the first email. And then as previously mentioned, make sure to check out different emails from these 3 different websites to take some inspiration from. And you can also use the A/B testing feature of Omnisend. So as you can see over here, we have path A, which is email number 1, and then we have path B, email number 2. So if we click on update over here, so 50% update, then we can copy this email over here, clone, and then drag it onto path B. Then we have to make sure to drag this one to path A because now this one is just below path A and B. So I'm gonna take this one, drag it onto path A. And as you can see, now we have path A and path B. And now we can tweak the subject line, for example, of path B. So did something catch your eye? And now we can tweak this one to something else. I'm gonna click on update. And now we have 2 different subject lines. We can test to see which one performs the best. This is just one example. And after some time, you can see which one performs the best. And then you can go to this one and then you can choose either A or path B. And once you're ready, you can click on start the workflow and then this workflow will be in action.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.